reach the ceilings of their limits to achieve their ultimate goal. Some fall on the tightrope, others thrive and prosper. All shed sweat, all shed blood, all stand locked and loaded under the spotlights. The Golden Boys bout, live and on demand on Dazn.
Downtown Los Angeles, the historic Union Station, celebrating its 80th year. They filmed a lot of movies inside this building, and today it's hosting a press conference, a boxing press conference for Canelo Alvarez and Sergey Kovalev. We're moments away from the press conference kicking off as some of the fighters are starting to take the dais. It is a pretty cool environment. The fans have been lining up for a couple hours, and I've been talking with my partner tonight since that time, saying, hey, I feel a buzz in the building, joined by former WBC junior middleweight champion, the Latin Snake, Sergio Mora. I'm Beto Duran. Thank you for joining us today as Canelo Alvarez and Sergey Kovalev will be holding their final press conference for their fight November 2nd in Las Vegas. Sergio, I tell you, Canelo Kovalev, you get a smile on your face. You're excited for this one, aren't you?
Who isn't excited? But it's also the fact that he's attempting history, a fourth weight division. I mean, not many fighters get to do that, especially Mexican fighters. The only one I could think of off the top of my head is Eric El Terrible Morales and Jorge El Travieso Arce. And it's just, I mean, it's something that really takes a lot out of you to move up in weight. You know the punches are going to be bigger, they're heavier, and especially from a man named Crusher, I mean, it's just dangerous.
Canelo Alvarez has fought twice above 160 pounds. Kovalev, as you said, the Crusher, his entire career has been at 175. So I'll ask you this question. If you're Canelo, why?
Greatness. He wants to chase greatness. He wants legacy. He knows that Mexican boxing is about pride, and he knows only a few Mexicans have conquered 4 divisions. So it's all about history, legacy, and greatness.
The greatness is what you want to chase. You want to be up there with the Mexicans like Chavez, Salvador Sanchez. You mentioned Terrible, Marco Antonio Barrera. You want to go up to those guys. And the last time we saw them in the ring, Canelo Alvarez was battling Daniel Jacobs in Las Vegas. Jacobs, the bigger fighter, and Sergio, you were there ringside that night. What did you see?
I was in the ring with Daniel Jacobs once, well, twice. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic. I know what Canelo had to face, and it was a lot, and that's the reason he had to watch himself. He couldn't really go in there like he normally does. He had to respect the power and the speed, the athleticism, technique. Ultimately, in my opinion, Daniel Jacobs started off a little bit too late, but all in all, there's still respect from beginning to end. That fight went the distance, but Canelo definitely got the championship.
Canelo got the victory that night against Daniel Jacobs. You're like, okay, so what's he going to do? Is Gennady Golovkin next? Nope, did not happen. Oscar De La Hoya telling us that he's going to fight Triple G sometime next year. So where does Canelo go? We're looking around, and Kovalev. I mean, I stutter a little bit just trying to say that now. I'm like, wait a minute. Crusher, Kovalev, Canelo. And the last time that Kovalev was in the ring, he took on a young fellow named Anthony Yarde from London, and Yarde looks the part. He's jacked. He's swole. Kovalev started slow. Then what, Sergio?
Yarde almost had him, well, almost hurt him, almost put him down. It was in that 7th round. In that 8th round, it got worse, but you got to give it to the young, undefeated Yarde. He came to win, came to beat the champion, but ultimately, that man right there pulled it off. Greatness. Great fighters know how to win great fights, and that's exactly what Kovalev did to maintain that championship and continue to reign as a light heavyweight champion and get this mega fight.
And you see him on his back. It was ended. That jab from Kovalev that is just known for him. He gets his arms raised that night. We're moments away from the press conference for Canelo Alvarez and Sergey Kovalev. Wow. I mean, you see this, you know it's going to happen November 2nd in Las Vegas, going up 2 weight divisions. Canelo Alvarez is doing it from 160 to 175, and you're trying to make that legacy. You're trying to be a champion in multiple weight divisions. As you said it, not many have done that. Now let's take a look at the guys and lady that have done that. Notably in the division, Manny Pacquiao, Amanda Serrano, Oscar De La Hoya, the Golden Boy himself, Tommy Hearns, Mayweather with that perfect record. It's the who's who that have gone and won multiple division boxing champions. But there's one name that I didn't mention, and he's standing by with our own Chris Mannix.
Yeah, Beto, I am here with a man that knows a little bit something about chasing history, the 5-division champion, the Hall of Famer, Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray, you, back in 1988, were the reigning middleweight champion. You decided to move up and fight the light heavyweight champion, Danny Lalonde. What do you remember about that experience?
I remember power, incredible power. He was a much bigger guy. He wasn't a household name, but he had power, and he hurt me a number of times. So this fight here, I look at the same way. It's what Canelo brings to the table. He has to be smart. He can't be stabilized. He has to be movement and break him down. Use his body shots.
Yeah, and look, that word power is something that Sergey Kovalev still has. You know, that's the last thing to go in fighters. Kovalev has a stiff jab still, and he throws punches with a lot of pop. You stepped into that ring. When was the first time you recognized that this was a different type of power you were going to experience?
It was the first punch, the jab. He hit me, boom. I said, this is going to be a long night. And again, he hurt me every time he hit me, for the most part.
Now, the other thing Canelo Alvarez is known for is the body attack. He is a savage body puncher. Who's the biggest body puncher you faced, and how did you deal with it?
Roberto Duran, Manos de Piedras. This guy, little guy, but his body shots, in fact, I can show you.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
But Duran went to the body with conviction, and very few guys do that. Canelo does it.
Okay, but Sergey Kovalev is known as someone that is vulnerable in that area. If you've seen tape of the top fights Kovalev has lost, whether it's Andre Ward or Ledir Alvarez, he can be hit in that area, and he can be hurt in that area, Ray.
But, I mean, everyone is vulnerable to that shot, that body shot. It's the placement of the shot to the liver. It brings down everybody, for the most part. Buddy
McGirt, Kovalev's trainer, though, told me that they have a plan in place to kind of get better in that area. Are you able to get better in defending body shots?
Well, you can do sit-ups and then what have you, but that shot is always open for a shot.
Yeah, look, that's going to be a big factor in this fight. Canelo's going to go to the body early and often, and can Sergey Kovalev withstand that and keep Canelo at a distance? You have been very complimentary of Canelo Alvarez over the years and the fights that we've done with him here on Dazn. You said you've seen improvements in him. He's 29 years old. From you watching him, what improvements have you seen?
Chris, I've watched this young man many years ago, and I've been so impressed with his progression. He thinks, he's very composed. Composure is key, posture. And he takes his time, he loads up body shots. He throws body shots, which is a lost art in boxing. But he goes to the body and goes to the body extremely well.
Yeah, I agree. I think one thing about Canelo that's underrated is that he is a very good defensive fighter and getting better every single time out. Now, this is a legacy type of fight for both these guys. Canelo Alvarez, if he wins, he'll have moved up 2 weight classes to claim a world title. Sergey Kovalev, if he wins, he will have shown that at 36 years old, he's still capable of beating arguably the #1 pound-for-pound guy in all of boxing. Who is this fight more important to? Who has more to gain in this fight?
They both do. I mean, this fight is that significant. I say 50-50. Both guys have so much on the table.
All right, I disagree. I think Sergey Kovalev has a lot more to gain. Canelo Alvarez is going into this fight as a favorite. Canelo Alvarez, the people believe, will attack the body and stop Sergey Kovalev. I don't know anybody at this point is picking Sergey Kovalev. And off his last few fights, people think he's kind of washed, Ray. People think that his time has come and gone, that the crusher is gone. I think Sergey Kovalev has far more to gain than Canelo.
Well, I'm a fighter, so I shouldn't know anything about boxing.
We'll leave it at that. Press conference up next. Beto, we'll toss it back to you.
Man, don't get hit, Chris. Do not get hit by Sugar Ray. Wow, he is a fighter legendary. Canelo and Kovalev, November 2nd in Las Vegas. It's fight season on Dazn, the only place to watch Canelo, Kovalev, Triple G, and Joshua against Andy Ruiz. Big fights, any device, one price. I'm still stuck on Sugar Ray, ready to work Chris Mannix. And let's look at the schedule that we got coming up on Dazn. Sergio the Latin Snake, what stands out for you? What are you looking forward to here?
I'm looking to all them pound-for-pound names, but the one that stands out for me, I'm really excited about is Regis Prograis, Josh Taylor. Just an exciting, we're going to find out who's one of the best at 140. I'm really excited about that fight. And of course, the rematch, the heavyweight rematch with Andy Ruiz Jr. and Anthony Joshua.
What a list it is, but right now, let's go to the stage. Joe Martinez is ready for Canelo Kovalev.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, historic Union Station here in the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. Very good afternoon. We've got a lot of fight fans on hand today, as well as our media in attendance. We would like to get you all ready for the battle to take place November 2nd, 2019, live on Dazn worldwide from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. That event, of course, will be streamed live on Dazn, the biggest platform in boxing, at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Tickets went on sale this morning. You can get those now before they run out. To charge with your phone or your credit card, 1-888-9-AXS-TIX, and you can go online to AXS.com. We'd also like to thank our sponsors for the event: Tecate, the official beer of boxing; Hennessy, Never Stop, Never Settle; and brand new Grapefruit Crush Knockout Flavor. We would like to welcome up our panel sitting with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, put your hands together. Former 6th Division World Champion, one of boxing's pound-for-pound all-time greats, Chairman and CEO of Golden Boy Promotions, the Golden Boy himself, Oscar de la Hoya. Legendary fighter and Golden Boy business partner, also a Hall of Famer, the Executioner, Bernard Hopkins. This event again taking place at MGM Grand Garden Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada, home of boxing for many years and hosted many historic fights throughout the ages. Here to represent the venue is Richard Stern, president of Las Vegas Live Entertainment and Sports. And once again, streamed live worldwide on Dazn. Here to represent Dazn is Joseph Markowski, executive vice president of Dazn North America Dazn. We'd also like to introduce a person whose legendary company promoted fighters such as Evander Holyfield, Pernell Whitaker, Meldrick Taylor, Lennox Lewis, and Fernando Vargas. Now Main Events is promoting Sergey Kovalev. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the CEO of Main Events, Kathy Duva. And we'd like to welcome undefeated lightweight, a rising superstar in the ranks out of High Desert, Apple Valley, and Victorville, California, Ryan Garcia. One of the most powerful managers in boxing. He manages Vasily Lomachenko, Alexander Usyk, and of course, Sergey Kovalev. Please welcome the 2018 Boxing Writers Association of America Manager of the Year, Igis Klimas. Our next participant is a former world champion in his own right. He trained and developed several world champions and now guides Kovalev in the most lucrative fight of his career. Please welcome James Buddy McGirt. 2018 WBC Trainer of the Year. He trains Ryan Garcia and Oscar Valdez. Please welcome the manager and head trainer of Canelo, Eddie Reynoso. Now we'd like to introduce a man who has guided Canelo since he was 13 years old. Please welcome his co-trainer and manager, Jose Chepo Reynoso. And now, ladies and gentlemen, after his stellar amateur career, this man began his professional career where he knocked out everyone in sight. He beat the likes of Nathan Cleverly, Jean Pascal, and Bernard Hopkins, while fighting in tough battles against Andre Ward and Elider Alvarez. Please welcome the three-time world champion, the current WBO light heavyweight world champion from Russia, Sergey Crusher Kovalev. And now we'd like to introduce the face of boxing and the pound-for-pound king. He's faced the likes of Sugar Shane Mosley, Austin Trout, Alfredo Angulo, Miguel Cotto, Gennady Golovkin, Liam Smith, and Danny Jacobs. Now he'll look to become a 4-division world champion, the 4th ever from Mexico, and just the 2nd ever Mexican to win a world title in the light heavyweight division, the WBC and WBA magazine. Middleweight world champion from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, Saúl Canelo Alvarez. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium, Oscar de la Hoya.
Gracias, gracias. El boxeo mexicano, en una potencia en este deporte, atraviesa por un buen momento y sus arcas, como siempre, están llenas de talento. Actualmente sobresale el nombre del carismático peleador tapatío Saúl Canelo Álvarez, cuya trayectoria ha estado llena de retos, y el próximo 2 de noviembre no será la excepción, cuando busque obtener su 4ª corona mundial en distintas categorías. Álvarez, orgullo de Guadalajara, Jalisco, México y del mundo entero, buscará realizar una histórica hazaña cuando se mida al tremendo noqueador ruso Sergey "Crusher" Kovalev por el centro mundial semicompleto de la OMB, en uno de los combates más esperados por los exigentes aficionados del arte de Fistiana. En el caso específico de Canelo Álvarez, si logra ese campeonato mundial semicompleto, como todos los esperan, ingresaría a una corta pero sólida lista de tan solo 3 monarcas mundiales aztecas en 4 categorías: Eric el Terrible Morales, Juan Manuel Márquez y Jorge el Travieso Arce. A diferencia de Morales, Márquez y Arce, Canelo es el único pugilista mexicano en capturar sus 3 centros mundiales en divisiones de más tonelaje, como lo son el super welter, mediano y super mediano. Y para visualizar la potencia hazaña de Canelo, si derrota a Kovalev, los estadounidenses Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas the Hitman Hearns y el jamaicano Mike the Body Snatcher McCallum son los únicos peleadores Salón de la Fama en capturar el título mundial semicompleto tras haber sido monarcas welter como Leonard y Hearns, super welter como McCallum y mediano y super mediano. Finalmente, y como dato especial, hay que recordar que Julio González, ex olímpico de Atlanta en 1996, es el único mexicano en capturar la faja de las 175 libras, cuando venció al invicto polaco Dariusz Malkowski por el mismo centro que posea Sergey Kovalev. Así que esta pelea, el 2 de noviembre, va a ser una pelea fuerte, una pelea difícil, una pelea explosiva, pero esperemos que todo el mundo grite: ¡Viva México! On November 2nd, 2019, Canelo Alvarez will fight Sergey the Crusher Kovalev in a battle that is bound to make history. Canelo of Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, is pound for pound the best and biggest star in boxing and will take his most notorious challenge yet by moving up 2 weight classes. Kovalev, the native of Kopetsk, Russia, will defend his WBO light heavyweight world title yet again, having just defended it in less than 4 weeks ago. It was an explosive fight, and we know he will bring the same energy and ganas on November 2nd. Previously, he held the unified WBA, IBF, and WBO titles between 2013 and 2016, and the WBO title for a second time from 2017 to 2018. Canelo hopes to become the 4th Mexican to win a world title in 4 divisions, with only others being Eric Morales, Juan Manuel Marquez, and Jorge Arce. One big difference is that Canelo is at a higher weight class, and this opens the possibility for many more matchups and bigger opponents with strong punching and star power. When talking with Canelo about his career goals, he said he wanted to make history and fight the very best, and that's exactly what he's doing. This is why we had to be very strategic and thoughtful in planning out his next fight, and while it may have taken a bit longer than we wanted, we know that it was worth the wait. Canelo has been preparing for this moment, and we know that on November 2nd, he'll rewrite a new chapter in boxing history by becoming the 2nd Mexican ever to win a world title at 175 pounds, the light heavyweight division. The only man to ever do this was Julio Gonzalez when he defeated Darius Miklowski in 2003 to win the WBO light heavyweight world title, the same title that Kovalev currently holds. By winning this title, Canelo will simultaneously hold belts in 3 divisions. As the middleweight king, he holds the WBC franchise belt, WBA lineal and ring magazine world championship. Both Canelo and Kovalev have been ranked as the world's best, and their skills will be put on the test come November 2nd. And this event will be taking place live at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, where the best wars have taken place. Tickets obviously are on sale early tomorrow. And for the fans who can't watch, for the fans who can't go there live, you want to watch it on Dazn. The house of boxing, the best platform for boxing is on Dazn. Don't miss it. Together with Dazn, we're committed to making boxing more accessible and affordable by giving fans the best fights without the price of the pay-per-view tag. I also want to thank Main Event's Kathy Duva. I want to thank Eric Gomez, my president, who worked tirelessly day in and day out with Kathy Duva, making this fight happen. Great job. We're very proud of you. And historic fights are a hallmark of this company, and Golden Boy Promotions continues to deliver the biggest fights of the year. November 2nd will be no exception, and we expect a great performance by our champion, Canelo Alvarez, as he becomes the new WBO light heavyweight world champion. Gracias.
Next, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Golden Boy Promotions, Bernard Hopkins.
First, I'd like to thank everyone for showing up. I know a little bit about history, and for Canelo to take a big leap from 60 to 75 to dare to be great, to make history, anyone that's not a real educator in boxing of history wouldn't know what I'm talking about right now. But just in case you want to learn, because it's never too late, it's very historic to be in a position of Canelo and want to bite off challenges and challenge himself and dare to be great to make history. And as Oscar said, not only in the Mexican history, but also, I'm going to say, in boxing. Because very few fighters in history have accomplished 60 to 75 and been successful. As you know, you're standing in here in one right now. And so I have a personal feeling about making history, because I've been there, done that, and now it's Canelo's time. But to the left, Sergey Kovalev, who I've been in there with, understand what it is to be in there with the Crusher. He's earned that, and I respect it. And I respect him even to the day. And also Buddy McGirt, the teacher, not a trainer. Yeah, there's 90% of trainers in boxing, but teachers are very rare in my sport that I love. So, in closing, enjoy this historic fight and watch Canelo Alvarez, who I call the Evel Knievel in boxing, who's taken on the best so far and now taking on the best at light heavyweight. Thank you, and enjoy the fight, and go to Dazn and subscribe.
Next, ladies and gentlemen, from MGM Grand, the president of Las Vegas Live Entertainment and Sports, Mr. Richard Sturm.
Thank you. And good afternoon to the media and all the fight fans watching today's event live around the world. I'd like to welcome back Canelo Alvarez and Sergey Kovalev, two of boxing's best, to Las Vegas and the MGM Grand. Canelo returns to the ring following his convincing win in May, while Sergey, who is coming off of a knockout win in August, will be fighting in Las Vegas for the first time in more than 2 years. I'd like to give a special thanks to Oscar De La Hoya, Eric Gomez, Robert Gaspari, and the entire Golden Boy promotion staff, Kathy Duver and her team, the Dazn team led by Joseph Markowski, as well as Bob Bennett of the Nevada State Athletic Commission. We look forward to seeing everyone November 2nd in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand, and thank you.
And now the Executive Vice President of Dazn North America, Mr. Joe Markowski.
Thanks, guys. Next week marks 1 year since Dazn launched here in the United States with our first broadcast with Anthony Joshua from London, in just 1 year. And in 1 year's time, I believe we've managed to assemble the best schedule in the history of the sport. Without a doubt, I think many of those on stage and in the crowd will admit that boxing, not just for the fighters, is pretty hard work. Scheduling fights takes time, and we're grateful for the support of many people in the room in helping us do that. But let's just look at where we are in the next 2 or 3 months. Canelo Kovalev, boxing's biggest star, jumping up 2 weight classes, continuing to chase history. Ruiz Joshua, the rematch of, without doubt, the biggest heavyweight upset in some years. KSI versus Logan Paul, bringing millions of new fans to the sport of boxing. Triple G, back in title contention in MSG in a couple of weeks' time. Title unifications, progress, the list goes on for the zone. I don't think many people in this room would have believed that we would have done that less than a year ago or even a year ago. So on top of the quality of our schedule, let's look at the value. For only $99.99, the price of a pay-per-view not that long ago, you can get all of that content and more into 2020. So our subscribers, many of you who will be in the crowd today, are in for a tremendous end of 2019 and a tremendous year to come on DAZN. To Canelo, we thank you for your continued partnership. And to Sergey, welcome to the DAZN family. We look forward to working together in the next couple of months. Thanks very much, guys, and see you in Las Vegas.
Once again from Golden Boy Promotions, here's Oscar De La Hoya.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to announce that obviously with a major card like this one with Canelo Alvarez and Crusher headlining, we must, and the fans deserve the best undercard possible. So I'm happy to announce that our next big major star in the making will be on the card, and that is Ryan Garcia, who will be fighting on the co-main event. And he's not just fighting anybody. This is a fight you guys wanted. He's fighting Duno. He's fighting Duno. That is a very tough fight. You obviously don't want to miss it. We're very proud to announce that we have a new pack together. And Ryan Garcia, I've already had calls from every major entertainer who is ready to go see your fights in Las Vegas. So without any further ado, let me introduce to you your next superstar, Ryan Garcia.
Hey everybody, thank you for everybody coming. I want to thank the fans for coming out because it's a weekday. You guys didn't need to come here. It's 4 or 5 o'clock. Thank you guys for coming. I'm excited. The co-main event on the biggest card pretty much of the year, but also you got Joshua, but I'm so honored because it's a big night and I get to fight the guy I wanted to fight most. In Romero Duno, everybody, they all said, you know, I was scared and you know, I was worried about him, but now I get the chance to get my respect and to show everybody I'm a real fighter. So everybody stay tuned. This is gonna be a big fight. It's gonna be a big card. And then you got the main event to close the show. Thank you for everybody for believing me. Thank you for Golden Boy showing me the love. And let's get the job done. Let's get the ball rolling and let's make history. Thank you.
Next, please welcome the CEO of Main Events, Miss Kathy Duva.
Thank you, Bill. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank Dazn. We're looking forward to a great relationship, and Golden Boy, we've had a long one, and of course Richard Sturm from the MGM Grand. It's good to be going back. And we at Main Events mostly just look forward to working with all of you on this historic event. But first, I want to give special thanks to Sergey Kovalev and Canelo Alvarez. And that's not just for Main Events. Right now, I'm speaking to both of you as a lifelong boxing fan, not just as Sergey's promoter. There are precious few throwback fighters like Sergey and Canelo in boxing today. Unfortunately, at some point around the turn of the last century, doesn't that sound like a long time ago? Boxing began to lose its way. Certain fighters, TV executives, critics, members of the media became so obsessed with won-loss records that they began to forget that this is a sport. Instead of building a legacy, preserving an O and avoiding unnecessary risk became the goal. And to this day, some fighters are actually praised for it, although it blows my mind. Competition suffered because of that, and so did the whole sport. I remember when the late, great Pernell Whitaker, God rest his soul, would get really upset with my husband, Dan, when Dan tried to give him a little breather. Pete did not want easy fights. He could not get up for them. He wanted a challenge. He wanted to prove that he was the best, not just to the fans and to his opponents, but to himself. When we first met nearly 7 years ago, one of the things that impressed me about Sergey was that he was so adamant that he wanted to test his skills against the very best. He wanted to find out how good he was. Obviously, the fact that we are all sitting here today proves that he still feels the same way about that. And Canelo, I have never met you before today, but I have nothing but respect for you. When reporters ask me to speculate, as they have all day, about why would you want to move up 2 weight divisions and take on a fellow future Hall of Famer like Sergey Kovalev, I tell them that I understand completely. Because a long time ago, Sweet Pea taught me how great fighters think. So thank you so very much to both of you. Canelo, you may have bitten off a little bit more than you can chew, but that's okay. Great fighters, the ones that care more about their legacy than wins and losses, are not afraid to challenge themselves. And win or lose, And win or lose, history will reward you for taking the risk. Someday I have no doubt that both of you will share a place in Canastota. But before then, I look forward to joining millions of boxing fans worldwide as we watch the two of you share the same 20-foot ring in Las Vegas on November 2nd. Okay? And congratulations, Ryan. You will not be the only spectacular young fighter on the card that night. Also sharing that ring on November 2nd, and I get to announce this today, is another talented, telegenic, well-spoken, absolutely fantastic young fighter with a name that's very familiar to all of you. His name is Evan Holyfield, and he is the son of the great Evander Holyfield, who was at the very beginning of our journey at Main Events. I can't tell you how gratified I am to be able to work with Evander's son after all these years. You're all going to get to see him and meet him and get to know somebody who I think is going to be giving us thrills for a very long time. We'll be announcing the particulars of his fight soon. Finally, I want to thank Agus Klimas for being one of the finest people I've ever known and continue to be one of the great blessings of my life. Buddy McGirt, I told him yesterday he's starting to turn into George Benton, and I mean that in a good way. He is the key to a change, a revitalization in Sergey's career that makes me so happy to see. This is fun again. I can see it, and it's fun for me too. So November 2nd, Dazn, don't miss it. It's going to be awesome.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's the manager of Sergey Kovalev, Mr. Agus Klimas.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Los Angeles. Great day today announcing this big of a fight. I don't think this fight needs to be introduced. When you hear a name, Canelo Alvarez, Crusher Kovalev, it says all about it, what is going to happen on November 2nd. I just wanted to thank everybody who participated in making this fight, making it happening. I don't need to talk about Sergey. He is, everybody knows who he is in the boxing. And regarding Canelo, I don't speak much Spanish, but I know what it means, grandes cojones. Thank you.
Now the trainer of Sergey Kovalev, please welcome Buddy McGirt.
Go, buddy, go.
Good afternoon. I'm going to make it short and sweet. I'm going to say that both these guys are really true champions. I'm going to say to Canelo, I've always admired you. Your trainer, great. He did a great job with you. I got to admit that. You know what I mean? And I really take my hat off to you for having the balls to step up and not have a catch weight, but do what real champions do. Step up to the challenge. Sergey, you know you're my man. Love you to death. I respect you for accepting the challenge because you didn't have to. You could have just fought any of the other champions. So, in all honesty, the only losers are going to be on November 2nd are the people who don't watch the fight and don't come to the fight. Thank you. God bless.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, a word from the WBO reigning light heavyweight world champion, Sergey Kovalev.
Hi, everybody. I'm very happy and glad to be here, you know, and back to Los Angeles. And thanks to God and thanks to Canelo personally and his team to make this opportunity to get this fight. I'm really think that this is a very big test for me in my boxing career because this is one of the best fighter in the world in boxing right now, and I'm happy and I'm sorry for my English, but like I am excited, really. Thank you very much for your support, and God bless you, everyone. And let's to fight happen. Thank you.
Now the head trainer for Canelo Alvarez, Eddie Reynoso.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Antes que nada, quiero agradecer a Golden Boy que hizo todo lo posible por hacer esta pelea, a Dazn, que fue una pelea muy difícil de concretarse. Hubo ahí unos detallitos, pero finalmente la pelea ya está.
First of all, I want to extend my gratitude to Golden Boy and Dazn. This was a very difficult fight to make happen, but the fight is now here.
Solo los grandes peleadores y los que dejan huella toman este tipo de riesgos.
Only the big fighters and whomever, the ones that leave a footprint, become these type of fighters.
Conocemos demasiado a Kovalev y sabemos a qué nos estamos enfrentando.
We know Kovalev well, and we know the challenge that we are facing.
Un tremendo boxeador que realmente deja todo arriba del ring, fuerte, con una pegada que de un solo golpe puede terminar una pelea.
A great fighter that leaves everything at the ring, and with a punch, he could end the fight.
Sabemos a lo que nos estamos enfrentando, pero queremos dejar huella, queremos que Saúl sea 4 veces campeón mundial y que después de tantos años, de 1938 con Henry Armstrong, no había un peleador que ostentara 3 títulos mundiales en diferentes categorías simultáneamente.
And we know it's going to be a great challenge. We want Saúl to have the 4 championships in this division. We know that since 1938, since this fighter, Henry Armstrong, it has not happened.
Y queremos que sea un mexicano.
And we want it to be a Mexican.
Entonces nos vamos a preparar bastante bien, sabemos a lo que nos enfrentamos y ese día 2 de noviembre, como dijo aquí el campeón, los que van a perder van a ser los que no van a ver la pelea. Muchísimas gracias.
We will have a great fight, and like the champion said, the only losers here on November 2nd are the ones who do not watch this fight.
And now Canelo's other trainer, Jose Chepo Reynoso.
Arriba. Buenas tardes a todos y cada uno de ustedes por su asistencia a esta conferencia.
Good afternoon, and thank you to each and one of you to assisting to being here at this conference.
Me estoy volviendo viejo, nostálgico, romántico, al ver todo lo que está pasando ahorita, ver tanta gente emocionada. No puedo evitar regresarme a los principios.
I'm getting old here. I'm nostalgic, I'm romantic, and I cannot help but remember the beginnings of all this.
Ver todos los triunfos, todas las alegrías que nos ha dado Saúl a mi hijo Eddie y a mí, bueno, eso me hace que se me enchine la piel y ver todavía lo que falta para el día 2 de noviembre.
To look back and see everything, all the victories that Saúl has given myself and my son Eddie, and everything that's still coming in the future, it makes my skin.
¿Y saben por qué? Porque los Reynoso han estado desde que empezó Saúl, ya va a ser 15 años de eso.
And you know what? Because the Reynosos have been with Saúl ever since he started, and it's close to 15 years.
Desde que era un niño que llegó al gimnasio.
Ever since he was a child that came to the gym.
Hasta ahora que está a punto de lograr esa hazaña y que va a hacerla seguramente porque estamos muy confiados en ello.
Until this point, that what he has reached to, because we trust that he will gain victory here.
Y yo les pregunto a todos los historiadores, ¿habrá también padre e hijo que llegaron a un 4º título mundial como Chepo y Eddie Reynoso
And
piensan
I asked
llegar
the
el 2 de noviembre.
And I asked people, you know, the history makers, has there ever been a father and son team that have reached the type of legacy that we've been building? And on November 2nd, we will.
Gracias, Saúl, porque el 2 de noviembre, ya que más puedo pedir con 4 títulos,
And
porque
thank-
yo también soy parte de eso, y mi hijo también. Gracias, hijo, por todo lo que ha pasado, y viva México. Y los que no puedan ir, cómprenla por Dazn, no la jodan.
And thank you,
Gracias.
Saul, for giving us what you're giving me. Thank you, Son, as well, for giving us the 4 titles. And whomever cannot go, watch it through Dazn.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the 3-division world champion, current middleweight king from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. Here is Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Es un placer, José.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to do so.
Muchas gracias a todos por estar aquí, como siempre.
Thank you,
Estoy muy
everyone.
agradecido. Todos los fans, muchas gracias.
Thanks, everybody, for being here. I'm very grateful to all the fans, as always.
La verdad que estoy muy motivado. Para mí es un honor compartir el cuadrilátero con Kovalev, un peleador que lo conocí en el 2012.
I'm very motivated here. It's an honor to me to share the ring with a fighter like Kovalev, whom I met in
Quien
2012.
era peleador de 4 o 6 rounds. Me da gusto que haya llegado donde ha llegado. Hoy nos toca compartir el cuadrilátero, eso es otra historia.
He used to be a fighter, a 4-6 round fighter, and now we're about to share the ring and make history here.
Sé que va a ser la pelea más complicada de mi carrera.
I know it's going to be my most difficult fight of my profession.
Estoy consciente de eso, sé que va a ser una gran pelea, pero quiero coronarme con un 4º título. Quiero darle ese placer a mis entrenadores, a mi equipo,
I'm aware it's going to be a
a
very
mi
difficult
familia, a mi
fight.
gente. Y voy a hacer todo lo que esté a mi alcance. Voy a poner todas mis habilidades, mi disciplina, para que así sea. Y ese día gritemos, ¡Viva México!
And that day we're going to
Gracias.
put I'm going to put all my strength and effort and give the best that I have at the ring. And that day we can yell, Viva Mexico.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the press conference. One last time, we will have Kovalev and Canelo with the official stare down. November 2nd, live on Dazn. Catch the official fight. The biggest fight of the year is going down MGM Grand Garden Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada, November 2 of 2019. Canelo and Kovalev, WBO light heavyweight world title on the line. Tickets are available at AXS.com. You can get those before they are gone. A guaranteed sellout November 2nd in Las Vegas. Thanks for coming out today, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you at the next Golden Boy event.
Canelo Alvarez, Sergey Kovalev, November 2nd in Las Vegas. The press conference just wrapped up. They'll be fighting at 175 pounds. A lot of respect between the two. Sugar Ray, I'll start with you. What did you make of that press conference?
Well, there's no question about it. There's a mutual respect. Both fighters have to fight their fight in order to win this fight. This fight here is big. This is major.
Sergio, when you talked about this, going up in weight, the punches are different. You even said, you know what, you can't prepare for this. What is Canelo up for?
Greatness. I mean, but if anyone knows, it's this man right here. I mean, he went up to fight Donny Lalonde for the super middleweight and light heavyweight championship of the world. I hate to bring this up, Ray, but you got dropped in that fight, but you got up and fought like a champ.
He hurt me every time.
Every time?
Every time he hit me.
How hard is that when you go up there? Mentally, you can prepare yourself, right? But the body, it can, you even said it, you can't do that many sit-ups to get ready.
No, you know, it's just where you hit the shot.
I'm gonna get out of the way, Ray. You go ahead.
It's a placement of the shot. you could do 100,000 push-ups or sit-ups. Makes no difference.
But Canelo with that body attack, that's going to be the key this November 2nd?
Canelo is an expert when it comes to body shots. I love that. That's when I saw he was growing. He was developing as a great fighter.
Now let's look at the backstory of Canelo Alvarez. He started his professional career when he was 15 in Mexico. He turned pro, didn't know much about him. His only loss, Floyd Mayweather. Some said he was still green at that time. Signs a lucrative deal with Dazn, fighting in the 6 different weight class. Sergio, you and I were talking in that press conference. He has a chance to make Mexican history, becoming a multiple weight class champion with the likes of Traverso Arce, Juan Manuel Marquez, and Eric Morales. That's huge for his legacy, isn't it?
No, absolutely. To become the 4th Mexican champion. I mean, to do it, to be any race, any ethnic background, to do that is amazing, but to do it as a Mexican, only 4 champions have done it. It's incredible feat to do.
Sugar Ray, people will always talk about your career from the 76 Olympics to everything you've accomplished, but I know you take a lot of pride in what you're able to do with the multiple division championships. Why is that so special to you?
Well, it's an advancement. It's like another crown. It's another gold medal. I mean,
Really?
it's precious. It's priceless, I should say.
And still look like this, by the way.
Hey, you
That's
can
the
wear
most important thing.
Hey, you can wear white after Labor Day any day where you want when you're Sugar Ray Leonard.
White pants.
Canelo Alvarez spoke. He understands what's going on in English, and he's standing by with Chris Mannix.
All right, Canelo, first press conference, first stare down with Sergey Kovalev, a pretty big guy that you're going up against. What kind of challenge are you in for?
No, es un gran reto para mí, ya sabemos, ¿no? Que naturalmente es más grande que yo, pero he enfrentado a peleadores más grandes que yo, así que estamos listos para este nuevo reto. Creo que mis habilidades pueden con esto y con más, así que veremos el 2 de noviembre, ¿no?
It's a great challenge for me. He is a bigger guy. However, I have fought bigger guys before, so it is a great challenge. So we'll see November 2nd how it all turns out.
There was a picture Sergey Kovalev posted on his Instagram recently of the two of you in Big Bear together. Could you have imagined back then, 7 years ago, that you'd be squaring off with Sergey Kovalev?
No, nunca imaginé que estaríamos aquí peleando, la verdad. Pero así es el boxeo, así es la vida. Y me siento muy contento, creo que es algo muy importante para mi carrera, este nuevo reto.
No, I never imagined so. I never imagined so. However, this is a big challenge. I'm very happy about it, and it's a new challenge in my life, in my profession.
A lot of champions, Canelo, in your position could have asked for a catchweight for a fight like this. You didn't. Why?
Porque quiero asumir el reto, 100%. Quiero asumir el reto al 100% y hacerle ver a la gente que estoy aquí para asumir retos importantes y obviamente dejar historia en el boxeo.
No, because it's a challenge. It's a challenge 100%. I want to show people that I am capable, and I want to make history in boxing as taking this challenge on.
You could have fought anyone from 154 to 175 pounds. Why Sergey Kovalev? Why was he the opponent that you wanted?
Porque es uno de los mejores en ese peso, ¿no? Y ha sido uno de los mejores libras por libras también y creo que tiene mucha carrera y eso le va a dar más crédito a mi victoria. Así que me siento muy contento que sea él, que sea una gran pelea. Los estilos se acomodan para que sea una gran pelea y eso me agrada más. Porque a mí me gusta darle a la gente peleas que la disfruten, ¿no? Porque hay estilos que no dejan lucir o no dejan hacer una buena pelea y creo que este tipo de peleador está visto que es para una gran pelea.
Because he's one of the best. He's one of the best fighters in this division. He is one of the best pound per pound. And I like to give people this type of show, this type of showing. It's a challenge for me. Show them how it is, how it's done. I show them the victory. I like to give people a good show.
You're already in training camp for this fight. Are you doing anything differently to prepare to be the biggest in your professional career?
No, solo tener los sparring adecuados con el peso de Kovalev, adaptarme al peso y hacer un gran campamento como siempre lo hemos hecho.
No, just the correct sparring for this type of weight. Just adapt to it, and just a great camp in order to adapt for this weight.
Thank you, Canelo. Look forward to November 2nd.
Thank you, Max.
Beto.
November 2nd in Las Vegas. When they faced off, Canelo Alvarez listed at 5'8", much smaller in height with Sergey Kovalev. Now, Canelo's used to being the smaller fighter in that ring. We saw the height disadvantage between he and Danny Jacobs. And Sugar Ray, though, when you fought Danny Lalonde, there was a big height difference. You said everything was a big difference. How do you prepare for yourself? Canelo says he's going to try to find the proper sparring, but it's not going to replicate it. How do you try to use that to your advantage, or what do you do?
I use experience. I also use mobility. I was outmaneuvering him. The only time he would hurt me is when I become stable, when I become stationary. He would bang, bang, little short shots. He started roughing me up. So I started boxing him, and then I went to the body.
That's what Canelo has to do?
Well,
the only reason I brought up Donnie Lalonde, Ray, I got to bring this up, is because we always talk about this, how you had a premonition the night before the fight that Donnie Lalonde dropped you. So when it happened, you're like, okay, that's out of the way.
Yeah, you know, because normally before the fight, I have these visions. And this particular fight with Lalonde, I saw him, I got knocked down, and I visualized that. So after he knocked me down, I said, well, that's it. So now it's my turn.
Now it's Canelo and Kovalev November 2nd. Could it be Canelo having those visions while he's in camp in Southern California as he gets ready for Sergey Kovalev when they'll be fighting at 175 pounds? 3 years ago, Canelo was fighting at 154. Jacobs was 160. Only twice has Canelo fought above 160. That's when he fought Chavez Jr. at 164. Rocky Fielding was at 168, but neither of them was on the level of Sergey Kovalev, Sergio.
Not at all. None of them are nicknamed Crusher, and for good reason. I mean, this is a Hall of Fame light heavyweight. You know, Sergey Kovalev already proved himself with official light heavyweights, and he's only fought at 175. He hasn't went up or down. I mean, this is a legitimate big man that he's fighting.
And on Dazn, we will see Canelo and Kovalev, but it was announced during the press conference that a young up-and-comer has signed a new deal with Golden Boy, Ryan Garcia, with a 5-year deal, and he will be fighting on November 2nd. Ryan Garcia does train with Eddie and Chepo Reynoso. He's also in the camp with Canelo Alvarez. He said, hey, Canelo's my big bro. He's standing by with Chris.
Yeah, here with Ryan Garcia. Ryan, all's well that ends well, I guess?
Yeah, man, it was a crazy week for me. From my last fight to now, you know, I didn't expect any of this, but you know, everything feels good. We got the ball rolling. I'll be on the card, Canelo Kovalev, as the co-main event against Duno, the man that I always wanted to fight. And now it's time to come get my respect.
What's this week been like for you? Going back and forth with your promoter, your fight getting canceled. Now, at the end of it, here you are with a brand new deal.
It feels like a little documentary series I'm in, man. It was crazy, but I feel like family fights, you know, and you know, maybe we had a little bit of miscommunication, but, you know, we figured it out, and we're all happy, and we're ready to put on the best show, November 2nd.
It really seems like this wasn't a fixable thing between you and Golden Boy. How did things turn the corner for you two?
Man, every time I punched my brother in the face, I never thought we would get along again. So I feel like, you know, we're all good. You know, it's like family. And, you know, like I said, family fights, if you had brothers or siblings, I know you've gotten a couple fights with them, but I'm so thankful. You know, this is the best deal I could have ever got as a prospect, and I'm just blessed, and I'm ready to put on a great performance and prove why I am what I am.
Yeah, you use the word prove, and you are fighting Romero Duno, a guy that I think a lot of people want to see you go up against. Do you feel like you have to fight this perception that you're just kind of this social media guy, that you're not the real fighter along the lines of Devin Haney or some of these other guys?
I'm always going to have to prove that. I've been proving that since I was a young fighter in amateur days. You know, they always had something to say about my abilities, but I always went up on the top guys, and I've always beat them, you know, and regardless of what anybody says, I know what I have. And me training with Eddie Reynoso and the Canelo camp, you know, I'm just improving even more. So my talents are now meeting, I feel like, my work ethic, and everything's going to come together, and you're going to see that.
You're going to get to fight Duno, and you're going to get to do it on the biggest possible platform, fighting on Canelo's undercard. It wasn't that long ago. Canelo was fighting on Floyd Mayweather's undercard, making his bones there. How excited about you about the fact that you're going to get to fight on this type of event?
It's a big moment for me. It's a big part of my life, and you know, these opportunities don't come often, and it's my chance to show on the biggest stage what I'm capable of, and I'm not gonna let this opportunity slip. You know, like Eminem said, you know, you only got one shot, so I got to go for it.
Well, we're all looking forward to it. November 2nd, back in the ring against Romero Duno. Ryan, thank you.
Let's get it.
Beto.
He's got charisma and personality. 21-year-old Ryan Garcia with $3.4 million Instagram followers. Started boxing at 7. One of the hottest prospects up and coming. Has sparred with Lomachenko and Linares in the past. Started his career at 17 in Tijuana, Mexico, because he was too young to fight in the United States. So Ryan Garcia signs the deal to extend with Golden Boy. You know what, Sugar Ray? You came out of the Olympics. Everybody knew you. This kid, everybody knew him outside of the ring. Times have changed, but regardless, though, he is an exciting young fighter, definitely a big prospect.
Ryan Garcia is another young boxer that I've always just appreciated his hand speed, his composure. I mean, this kid, this young man, is going to be a champion one day.
And he will be on the undercard November 2nd, MGM Las Vegas. You can watch it exclusively on Dazn. Canelo Alvarez will be taking on Crusher Kovalev. That's right, Sergey Kovalev, the 36-year-old who has a big punching of power. And let's look at him. Sergio right here, the nickname Crusher. He turned pro at 26. His only 3 losses have come against, look at these names, Andre Ward twice, Alvarez once, but he came back and his last fight stopped a young man in Yardy.
And that's what impressed me when he stopped Anthony Yardy, because he was hurt in that fight. And usually at 36, 37 years old, that's when the young, undefeated prospects and future champions come and take you out. He was able to show that he's a great fighter, because all great fighters, like this man next to me, know how to pull out that greatness, even if it's one last time. So can he do it on the big stage November 2nd versus Canelo Alvarez? We're going to find out.
36 years old, Sugar Ray. Is Kovalev a little bit too old, or is Canelo getting at the right time?
I wish I was 36 years old right now. That's young to me. That's young.
What about in boxing terms?
Well, it's old based on who you ask, but also it depends on what he's done to his body.
Okay.
You know, it's his lifestyle. He looks great to me. I mean, it takes one punch to make a difference.
29-year-old Canelo, 36-year-old Kovalev, and Sugar Ray. Like, forget the ages, man. We all wish we were 29 though. And I think he is 29, and that is Chris Mannix, who's standing by with Kovalev.
Yeah, Sergey, it wasn't that long ago that you were in camp with Canelo Alvarez in Big Bear Lake. Could you imagine then fighting Canelo Alvarez at any point?
Yes, a very interesting story, but I never thought about and couldn't imagine that someday I will share ring with him.
When you were told that Canelo wants to fight you, what was your reaction?
I thought that is Aegis when announced me this, like, just Canelo wants to fight you. Like, hey, you kidding me? No, it's really okay. Like next time, like maybe in 1 week, like again, like say about this. Like, okay, what's the division? It's your division. Oh, really? Okay, if he wants to really fight, like, give me a contract for me, and I'm ready. It will be like any day, any place, and we got it.
You last fought August 24th over in Russia. You got to make a quick turnaround to fight and get into training camp for this fight. How do you feel physically?
It's good. Big breaks don't like for me, you know. I just it's break my shape and everything. But when it's a close fight to fight, I like it, and I'll be ready.
You've gone through a few different trainers in the last couple of years. You and Buddy seem to have good chemistry working together. What do you like about working with Buddy?
Yes, I'm happy that I got opportunity to work with Buddy, and thanks to God for everything. Really, like everything happens for a reason. And after my loss to later Alvarez, like I started looking for like somebody real, and Aegis advised me Buddy. And when I started, when I worked with him first workout, I asked him for another one the same day, or next day, and he said, okay, come tomorrow, the same time, and we got a workout. Like, and I understand that this is my coach because he showed me, and he showed me all my problems, all my mistakes, what I did, and I agree with this, you know. And what he said, everything was right, and yeah, it was right, and I am agree, like, and we started working together. I'm very happy. I'm very happy, really, for to be the team with the body.
I think a lot of people coming into this fight are picking Canelo Alvarez to win, despite the fact that you're the champion, you're the bigger man. People don't really believe that at 36, the old Crusher can come back. Can the old Crusher come back for one more night?
Believe me, can. With body, my girl can. Like, we'll see November 2nd. You know, like, it's my goal right now. No rest for the crazy things. Just like I keep working, keep my shape, and November 2nd I'll be ready.
We will see you November 2nd. Good luck, Sergey.
Yeah, thank you very much,
guys.
Kovalev had that smirk on his face, Sergio, when he asked him that question, can you still do it? Like that.
That jack-o'-lantern smile. And as a mirror, just everything sounds more ominous in a Russian accent. Right? I mean, I'm just, yeah, I'm excited
even
for
when they asked him, they told him, you know, Canelo wants to fight you. Kovalev had that, are you serious? Like, you really want some of this, Sugar Ray?
But that's one of those once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, and you think or you feel you can win, but in training camp, you will see, you will know if you can win.
It'll be a good one. That's just for you, right?
For me.
No matter what, you're still Sugar Ray. November 2nd, Las Vegas, Canelo and Kovalev. Kovalev is the underdog. You agree with that, Sergio?
Slightly. I don't understand why he's a bigger fighter, the champion, but the Vegas books, they know.
If you can punch, you stand a great chance of winning. One punch changes everything.
And one punch can change everything. Well, that happened November 2nd. Now, Chris Mannix was with the entire team, both sides, all morning long. He interviewed him. Let's go back to Chris. Chris, what do you think of this fight, November 2nd?
I think it's an extremely interesting fight. Look, Canelo Alvarez is a favorite for a reason. You can make an argument he is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in all of boxing. He is a savage body puncher. We know that Kovalev is a little susceptible to those punches to the body, so you can see the path to victory for Canelo Alvarez. But the two guys next to you better know the last thing to go in a professional fighter is that power. And Sergey Kovalev is also one of the best jabbers in his division. He knocked out Anthony Yarde with a jab. If he can keep Canelo at a distance and he can get off that rocket right hand, he has a chance to hurt Canelo Alvarez and he has a chance to win this fight. This is not a walkover fight by any stretch. Sergey Kovalev may not be the guy we saw dominating the division in 2013, 2014, but he is still a very dangerous opponent that Canelo needs to take seriously.
Indeed, very dangerous. November 2nd, Canelo Alvarez going up 2 weight classes to take on Sergey Kovalev. That'll be in Las Vegas. The schedule, the fight season on Dazn. Next weekend, Triple G Derevyanchenko will be there. You have a lot of different cards here, Sugar Ray. Which one are you looking forward to?
Every single one of them.
How about the monster and the Filipino flash? I mean,
I want all of them.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm curious about KSI and Logan Paul. I just love the circus around that.
Ruiz.
It'll be good. And then it ends up in December. Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua in Saudi Arabia. For the legend, the Hall of Famer, Sugar Ray Leonard, Sergio Mora, the Latin Snake, former world champion, and Chris Mannix running around doing all the interviews, the entire crew behind the scenes at Dazn. I'm Beto Duran. Thanks for watching the final press conference between Canelo and Kovalev. Buy your tickets. They're available now. It'll be November 2nd, MGM Grand Arena, Mexico, with Canelo Alvarez, Russia, Sergey Kovalev. Good night.
fear, who breach the ceilings of their limits to achieve their ultimate goal. Some fall on a tightrope, others thrive and prosper. All shed sweat, all shed blood, all stand locked and loaded under the spotlights. The Golden Boys bout, live and on demand on Dazn.